Welcome to Live with Bottleneck. I'm Jamie J. We're going to be going live today with the one and only Ron Pietosi. Pietosi. if you want to get that Italian accent going there. So we're going to be jumping live here in about 38 seconds. So stay tuned. Well, hello there. My name is Jamie J. I'm the CEO and founder of Bottleneck Distant Assistance. This is not why we're here today, though. Today, we're going to be talking about stopping the bottleneck in your business with Mr. Ron Pietosi. And we're going to be talking about caring in the workplace. Now, Ron is the Director of Development of Corporate Chaplains of America. I've talked with him while he was on the road. We had a great discussion. He's got a great thing going over there. And this is right up my alley, if you guys don't know that. I'm all about caring in the workplace. And what he does is phenomenal, very unique as well. So if you have any questions or comments while we're talking, please ask away, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever you're at, go ahead and ask away, and Ron will be happy to answer. If you're watching this in the replay, then go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll make sure to forward those questions on to Ron. So thank you for tuning in. Why will Ron help stop the bottleneck in your business? Well, he worked in telecommunications for 9 years before coming on board with CCA. He has the opportunity to identify companies that care about their employees and share how their chaplains serve by caring for employees and family members 24/7, adding value to company culture, core values, and vision. I love that. To succeed, he helps business owners see how the comprehensive employee care benefit can reduce turnover, which is huge, improve productivity, and provide for a happier, healthier employee. And who the heck does not want happier and healthier employees? So without any further ado, please allow me to introduce you to Ron Pietosi.
Hey. Hello out there. Hey, good seeing you, Jamie. Thank you for letting me be a part of the live today.
Oh, this is fantastic. I'm so excited to talk with you. I'm pretty blessed to have you on today. We had a really good conversation, and I just got you, and I really enjoyed what it was that you shared with me, what you do for so many people, how you go in there and you do care. Like it's true. You truly care. You're not just saying that. And,
right.
That's something that's very unique these days because we're in such a fast-paced world, and technology has made the world so small, and it's so easy to click from one business to a competitor to another person just by the click of a button. And if you don't have that caring component, that positive culture that brings positivity into the workplace, you're not going to last too long in this day and age. And that's my humble opinion, by the way.
Right.
But before I go into talking too much more myself, I'd love to learn a little bit more about you. If you can, tell us a little bit about your background and what you do and kind of what you're up to now.
Yeah. So real quick, you shared it with my little bio there. I was in telecom for right at about 9 years. And in past life, I've actually been a entrepreneur as well. A couple things going on, but now I am actually part of Corporate Chaplains of America. I'm the Director of Development with Corporate Chaplains of America, and what we do is we come alongside business owners, leaders, CEOs of companies that care for their employees, and we come alongside them and help them care for their employees. So we actually come along and do what we call weekly rounds. We come to get to know each of the employees, from the leadership all the way through every employee, and we get to know them every single week. Chaplains coming in each location, talking with them. We also have some virtual ways we can reach out, living in the day and age we're living in right now with COVID. So get to know them, but then, available for the not only the employees. I always like to point that out, not only for the employees, but anybody that employee cares for, family, friends. So we're available 24/7. They could call us in the middle of the day or 2 o'clock in the morning. And usually that 2 o'clock in the morning is not a very good call, right? That's usually making a little trip to the hospital or something like that. So, but we're available 24/7. And then we also do what are called care sessions. So those are a little bit more in depth than just a regular round where we're getting to build relationship. Our chaplains are trained in multiple different areas to help with everything from, right now we're getting our chaplains are really leaning in right now to anxiety and depression, right in the middle of the what we have going on in this pandemic. We're seeing a lot them being able to lean into that right now. Addiction, a lot of different things that they're helping people walk through. Finances, our chaplains are trained on a lot of different things to help walk the employees through.
That's fantastic. So I really want to kind of dive into this because you gave us a great overview, the 30,000 foot overview. So where are you from?
I am in Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay, fantastic. And I think when we talked, you were in another state or something at the time. And so you're all over the place.
Yes. So I have a 23 state footprint that I get the privilege of meeting with owners, CEOs of companies, sitting down with them, sharing them what we do, and seeing how we could help care for their employees. So
that's fantastic. So one of the things you said there was, so you go into, or if I understand this correctly, you go into organizations, meet with the CEOs or the leaders, and you kind of tell them how you can help support their employees, whether it's through different programs that you have dealing with anxiety, whatever you can do to keep the employees at their best. Right.
That's right.
Maybe listen to them and hear them out and hear what they're saying and give them someone to talk to and maybe walk through their problems. But what was really cool there is you also said something in addition to the over and beyond the employees, you can actually go in and talk with the families as well.
Yeah. We care for anybody that employee cares for. So their family members or close friends, we also care for them as well.
Now, when you say care, can you give me maybe an example or two of what something like that may look like? Because I'm going somewhere with this.
No, that's fine. So it's the same thing. Like, for instance, say if somebody when we say care for somebody, we're available. That chaplain is going to hand out their card with their phone number. We also have what is called a chat app where they can actually communicate with the chaplain through the app. So let's say an employee has a family member maybe that is in the hospital, right? We'll use that example. And then we can, if the employee comes and say, hey, could you go visit, my family member in the hospital? Yes, we can go and visit that family member in the hospital. Or let's say if that family member or friend is struggling with something, they want to talk with the chaplain. We will then, be able to speak with the chaplain will speak with them as well. So when I say care, we're going to come alongside them, help them walk through. We also understand that our chaplains are not supermen and women, that we understand that we have other resources that in each of the communities we serve in, that if it's above our head or pay grade, if you will, we go ahead and we point them in the right direction. But we're there to help walk through that, to walk life out with them, if that makes sense.
That's fantastic. And I think it's a really good explanation because you're alleviating some stress. Hopefully this is the goal, I would think, to alleviate stress from that employee. And so their performance doesn't de-escalate or lower in any such way. So does this actually help to empower the employees?
Yes, that definitely does. Because okay. I mean, and I know, Jamie, you probably have these stats memorized, right? So the number one reason why an employee leaves a company back in 2019, I would say it's pretty much the same in 2020. Number one reason was 79% of the time they said they feel unappreciated. So when we come alongside, we're able to care for the employee and also help them to feel appreciated, because we come alongside that employer is paying for this benefit, and we come alongside them to care for them, and they can share things with us that they don't have to worry about getting back to their boss, anybody else, and it makes them feel appreciated. It empowers them, to your point.
It's kind of like that, kind of like a pseudo open door policy.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, most of the companies we serve, the leadership really care for their employees, but there's only so much that an employee is going to share with their boss or HR or whoever, because they in their mind they're thinking, yeah, I know they care for me, but it's going to affect their thought process about me. It's going to affect my job. So when you have a chaplain come along and they get to be there for them and hear those things, they're able, to share that and feel like they've gotten it. Hey, I can bring it to somebody. They're going to help me walk through it.
Yeah, they have confidence in confidence.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think this is a huge deal. I'm a tremendously big fan of instilling positive culture in the workplace,
Right.
and because negative culture, that toxicity level is out of the park.
Yeah.
And maybe you can tell me, I don't know if you can, but
yeah, go ahead.
You're putting your chaplain hat on for a second. Why in the heck does bad news travel faster than good news?
Yeah. So this is pretty simple, because it's a lot easier. I use this example. If you walk into a room, it's a whole lot easier to point out what's wrong with that room instead of what's right. Same thing in people's lives. It's a whole lot easier for them to focus on the things that are wrong and share those things when you walk into the room. It takes number one, takes discipline, and it takes focus to focus on the good things. And that's kind of what the chaplain comes along to help point them in the right direction, as we're going through life.
So this post, if I can call it that, that you've chosen to live by, it's got to be challenging at times, but I would assume it's also got to be super rewarding. What are some of the biggest challenges you might face, or some things that you're like, oh man, this is okay. I gotta get to work on this.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've really seen over this last, I would say 8-9 months, is that we've seen a lot of people struggling with depression, anxiety, going through this time. So as chaplains, as the chaplains are out in the field, we've really seen over the last several months an opportunity and had the privilege of being able to walk people through and even prevent, some suicides, and just seeing those.
Wow.
To me, that gets my attention, right? Because I think anxiety and depression, the chaplains are trained to help on a lot of different things, but those things, I think that as a business owner or a leader in an organization, it's easy to miss those things unless you have somebody that their sole purpose is to care for the employees, to walk around, get to know them. And that's kind of the model that we have as we build relationships, that they're going to share things with us and they're going to notice things. I mean, literally, we had a chaplain that was doing what we call rounds, right? That moments of encouragement every week as they come to that business, walked around doing rounds. And he went through and he had done his rounds, and he said, this one guy that would normally turn around and talk to him, understand that our chaplains are trained not to interrupt workflow. So when that gentleman didn't turn around, he kept going, and he went and sat in his car, and he said, "No, I got to go back and check on this guy." So he goes back and taps him on his shoulder, and he said, "Are you okay?" And when he turned around, the guy was just weeping, crying, and he says, "No, I'm not." And he shared with him what was going on, and he said, "When this shift's over, I'm going to end it. I got the stuff in my car. I'm going to end it." And so he looked at him and he said, "Hey, everything we do, our chaplains do, is permission based. We'll never push ourselves, press up on somebody unless we get permission." So he said, "Would it be okay if I prayed with you?" And he said, "Yes, would do whatever." Right. So he prayed with him. Then he said after a little while, he's like, "Would it be okay if I took you to the hospital?" And he said, "Yeah, go ahead." And he took him to the hospital. Then when he got there and he got him checked in, he said, "Would it be okay if I got your keys and got your stuff out of your car? Here's what I do know. I don't know what would have happened if that chaplain would not have been there, but I do know because that chaplain was there, that employee's back at work and is one of their best employees."
See, that's huge. And that speaks volumes to that company, whoever that CEO is.
Yeah. Yeah,
kudos on
definitely.
him for bringing him back in and giving this person the opportunity to continue on, because I know a lot of people. I would assume that a lot of people, given the state that that person was in, would elect probably not to bring them back.
Right.
An incident like that. So that speaks volumes. And that's the kind of person that I would want to be around.
Come on. Yeah. And it's true. It just shows how much they care for their employees. And matter of fact, that was one of their best employees. So, you know, and no one even knew anything was going on. And reason I bring that up is because, you know, a lot of companies we serve, they have EAPs, and I'm not saying anything about EAPs. They're good.
What can you tell us what EAP is?
Yeah, an employee assistance program, right? So if you're struggling with depression, call 1-800, or if you have, you know, if you need to see a counselor, call this number, which is fine, and they're good. Matter of fact, like I said, a lot of the companies we serve have EAPs, but what we see is the national utilization rate with EAP is about 2 to 3%. I just met with a company 2 weeks ago. They got so excited. They said, "We're doing great. Then we got a 4% utilization rate." So what we've seen with our chaplains, since we're proactive, EAPs are more, you know, reactive, right? If you have an issue here, so proactive in the fact that we're seeing them weekly. If we're not physically able to see them, we text, email, you know, call them. We can do video and all kinds, you know. But we're connecting with them. So we see about an 85% utilization rate with our program. Wow. So huge difference in the two is my point. Both are good. And what we do is we help some of these companies that have EAPs, because some companies, the insurance, they want them to have an EAP. So we're able to help you increase the utilization rate, because our chaplain, if we know what their EAP is and they share it with us, because we want to become part of that company's culture. So if we find that out, we can point the employees to that EAP as well.
Well, dang, I had a good question, but I want to bring something up, because you learn each company's culture. How do you do that?
Because we work, number one, the chaplain's going to work really closely with whoever on the leadership team, or any key leaders within the organization, if that's the CEO, the owner, whatever, or even if it's an HR director. Some of the bigger companies, they want us to work with their HR team, and we work with them, and we want to identify. For instance, we have a company that we're serving, and they had just started getting to wear safety glasses. Like you can see these aren't safety glasses, but they asked the chaplain, "Hey, when you're going around doing rounds, they hadn't had them using the safety glasses before, so they only had about 50% of the people actually using them. So the chaplain, every time he'd go around, he wouldn't say anything. He'd just kind of shake his glasses, just reminding them to put their safety glasses back on. And then over time, they said they had about, last time I heard, it was about an 80% utilization rate where they're actually using their safety glasses. Little things. And the reason how we do it is we find out from the leadership what they're trying to implement, and then we do our part to help with that as well.
So do you invest time doing research on that company, learning their mission, their vision, their core values, things like that?
Yeah, we do. Usually I do that on the development side, even before I meet with the company. But then also the chaplain is going to, and our regional director who oversees our chaplains will meet with the leadership team and get a plan on how we're going to, the game plan. Because remember, we're customizable for every company we serve. And a couple of things I mentioned, kind of what we do, but there's a couple of things that we don't do. Right, we're not gonna come in and help negotiate a raise for the employee. Right, we explain that to the employees. Right, we're here to care for you, and everything's permission based and voluntary, and everything's confidential. So we really hold strict to that. Now we do give reporting to the business owners, but it's not going to have names or anything like that on it. But it's going to show exactly activity. It's called an activity report. It shows them all the things that are going on. And then after about 6 months, we can give them a more in-depth report, which will show care sessions. Won't show names, but what it will show is like a subject line, like finances or relationships or whatever the case may be. And it'll show over time, just so they can see what's going on, within their organization.
I love that. Aaron Wexler. Hey, Aaron Wexler. How you doing, buddy? He asks, what are the most common values in the most successful organizations you work with? That's a freaking great question.
That is a great question. I would say the most common values are that they care. Because most companies will say, the most important thing is our customer, which I'm not disagreeing with. What I see is the companies that say they want to value their employees. That's the companies that we see that come alongside, that they really care for them. Yes, without the customers, you don't have employees. But the ones I would say most successful organizations actually show, and not only just show it, but they make it front and center, caring for their employees.
That's fantastic. I absolutely love that. Yeah, that's a really, really good question, Aaron. Thank you for asking. So we talked about some challenges, and in essence, a win from that challenge. But what is it that gets you like up every day? Like, I can't wait to do this, because you have a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Pietosi.
Ron Pietosi.
You've got a lot of energy. And even when I talked to you in the car, you were so pumped about what you were doing.
Yeah.
What gives you that fuel to fire?
Well, the thing that gets me the most excited is, bottom line is that we get an opportunity to touch so many lives. We see so many lives. We have so many stories now. Like I said, everything's, is confidential, so we don't get to use names unless it gives permission. By the way, we do have several videos, if you go to chaplain.org, where they've actually given permission and done testimonials. But just seeing the lives that are changed, that's what gets me going. So what we actually call them new mission fields. We get an opportunity, every company we get to come alongside, we get to see a new mission field, see people's lives transformed, see people that were struggling in their marriage and now they're doing great. See people that are struggling financially. Our chaplains, are trained within Smart Dollar with Dave Ramsey, so they can sit down and do a budget with people. A lot of people don't even have a budget put together. I mean, just seeing life changing little things that can change people's lives. That's probably what gets me going the most, is seeing lives changed.
I love that. I have a little side story, and I didn't. Here's what's really neat. You have a mission, you're following it, you're going after. I thought I had a mission. I thought we were doing the right thing here at Bottleneck, and I was pumped up. And it wasn't until a Saturday morning when I got a call from a client that called me, and luckily we became good friends. So I answered the phone. Normally I don't do business on the weekends, but I answered the phone in this case. And I was like, hey, what's going on? He's like, hey, I just want to let you know that, this is the first Saturday that I'm not working. And I said, what are you talking about? He goes, well, 3 months since, we hired, somebody, they came in, and thanks, I'm enjoying my Saturday morning with my wife and kid. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's great. And then you hear the phone wrestle away, and his wife said, thanks for giving my husband back. Whew.
Oh, yes.
That completely changed how I look at my business, because now we're affecting personal lives that, I had no idea. And I get that fire in you, because you're changing people. And when you get to see that firsthand, because of a mission that you're following through with, it's extremely powerful. So I'm super happy for you. I do have one question, but let me, Aaron, one more question. He says, what's the common theme in people's lives who have changed for the better the most?
Well, two things. We see that, number one, they recognize that there's an issue. Number two, they're willing to change. Those were the two things that I would say are the most common. Of course, and I haven't shared our mission statement. If you go out to our chaplain.org, you'll see our mission statement at Corporate Chaplains of America is building caring relationships with the hope of gaining permission to share the life-changing good news of Jesus Christ in a non-threatening manner. But understand, if we never get permission, we're not going there. We're just building relationships. And what we've seen is through relationships, we can see lives change if they identify that there's an issue and they're willing to change.
I love that. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. Can you remind me again, or share with the audience, how
Mm-hmm.
how big is Chaplains right now?
Corporate Chaplains of America. Yeah, Corporate Chaplains of America. We're currently serve 510 companies across 43 states.
Yeah, so you have some work cut out for you there.
Yeah, we got some work. Yeah, we got some. We are seeing. We of course we as an organization we are believing for great growth over the next 3 years. We literally want to see probably in mission fields probably 2x over the next
Wow.
little while. Yeah, so really working towards that over the next 3 year period. So.
And who is in a position right now where they would say, "Man, I need to talk to Ron"?
Anybody that that leads a business that cares for their employees, that they want to see them be more productive. Because here's the thing, people spend more waking hours at work than they do anywhere else. And if you want them to or not, they're going to bring their problems to work with them every single day. And if you care for your employees and you want to see them be more productive, not just at work, yes, at work, but not just at work, just as in life, they're going to be healthy. You know, if they're we always talk about, you know, being healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually. So, and that's who we want to come alongside, people that want to see their employees cared for.
So small, medium, large business.
Yeah. Smallest company we serve actually has 5 employees. Largest company we serve has 18,000 employees. So, yeah. So we serve all different types. Ideal though, if I would say a sweet spot, 50 to 150 employees, probably a sweet spot.
Yeah, perfect. So, with COVID, a lot of people are working remotely. Are you still able to help with remote-based support?
Yeah. So we call it distributed, but virtual, whatever term you know. I know most people call it virtual. So yeah, virtual. We do chaplaincy as well. We do chaplaincy as well virtually. Matter of fact, through in March it was like 50-50, right, with 50% face to face, and then we had a lot of virtual going on in March, April. Now we're probably still 80% face to face, and I would say 20% virtual.
Wow, that's fantastic. So it's nice to see you guys, even though you have the organization that you have, you're flexible. You're able to attend to the needs, no matter if it's in person or a distant Zoom meeting, something like that.
Oh yeah, and you got to understand, we serve a lot of large trucking companies as well. So almost all of their drivers are going to be virtual that we're serving. So even though the company as a whole, we're doing some face to face at their headquarters or something, but their truckers we're actually going to be doing virtual all the time. So.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I want to be mindful of your time, so we're coming to the top of the half hour there. Is there anything that you would like to say before we wrap?
Yeah, the only thing I would like to say is, one of the companies that we serve, that I had the privilege of meeting with their leader, and they're a publicly traded company. And I said, why are you such a huge proponent of Corporate Chaplains of America? And he said, Ron, let me share this with you. When I go around and I go to each location, they never thank me for health, dental, and vision, even though they should. But they always thank me for their chaplain, and they tell a story how the chaplain helped them, either that employee or a family member. So, and he shared with me, that's a huge difference. And oh, by the way, it's probably one of the least expensive benefits he offers to his employees.
Well, I think that's, I just love what you're doing. And thank you so much for giving us your time today. I really appreciate it. It's been fantastic talking with you. And is there anything else?
I think that's it. That's all that I've got. I'm just excited. I mean, we would love to come alongside you if you're watching this and help you care for your employees. Again, our sole purpose is building those caring relationships. And what we've seen is it helps with all kinds of things. That's not why we do it, but we see it helping with turnover, loyalty within the workplace. We've seen, help company culture, literally vision through the organization. So that's not why we do it. We do it to care for people, but we've seen because we're caring for people, we see those results.
Positive
those are what
happen when love is abound.
That's right. That's right.
Well, thank you so much. Can you hold on just for a couple seconds? Okay, let me go ahead and wrap up on your behalf. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it. We'll go ahead and wrap up here today. I've been talking with Ron Pietosi. I won't say the Italian way to do it, but Ron Pietosi for he's a director of development for Corporate Chaplains of America. If you are running an organization right now and you're feeling frustration or you're seeing or identifying challenges in your employees, or if you're an employee, maybe make the suggestion that this might be a good opportunity, because this is powerful. I've never seen anything like this. It's different than HR, and it helps people leverage the confidence in knowing that they can say what's ever on their mind, and HR doesn't need to know about it. The CEO doesn't need to know about it. It's an incredible, incredible organization. So Ron Pietosi, Director of Development for the Corporate Chaplains of America. You can learn more by going to chaplain.org, or you can give Ron a call, 859-221-8692. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And I do want to say that coming up on Thursday at the next Live with Bottleneck, I'll be talking with the one and only former American Idol great William Hung, and who knows what's going to happen. Maybe we sing some Christmas carols, maybe we do something crazy, but you never have a dual time with William Hung. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's Thursday, 2 p.m. Central. And other than that, don't forget to create your own ripple. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on Thursday.